The sports information profession is definitely a behind-the-scenes profession, and it's really our jobs to kind of shine the light on the teams and the players, the coaches that are part of the programs here. We are the liaisons between the athletic teams here and a lot of other constituencies, which includes outside media, it includes the Sun Belt Conference, the NCAA, the general public as far as updating our website, appstatesports.com, social media. We kind of just handle all kinds of information that go out from our athletic teams. And then we also handle any kind of requests from the outside, which is like interview requests, photo requests, those sorts of things. So we're definitely the middlemen in a lot of ways.
I think some of the biggest, the most important skills you need is writing, because a lot of the times we're writing releases regarding if it's a game recap after a game that we covered, whether it's a preview. So a lot of it is writing, that's the big thing. And you need to know some time management, because most of the SIDs have multiple sports, so you got to figure out how to manage your time wisely so you're getting things done.
You find a lot of people in this profession have journalism backgrounds, have PR backgrounds, or even just English. I mean, you certainly have exceptions, but you have to be able to write and communicate. And then it helps to obviously know sports and to enjoy sports, because you're doing it nonstop every day. And knowing sports has a lot to do with numbers and stats also.
Well, in terms of working with students, professional athletes, it's, there's some differences, but there's also not. Professional athletes, a little bit more are coached up on how to speak with the media and everything, but they're also, ignore them and connect in very bad ways towards the media and everything. But the majority of them understand it's their obligation and they got to do this. And, here in the college level, it's similar, but you may have to coach them up a little bit more, tell them, just talk with them, say, hey, somebody wants to talk to you about this, here's what to expect, here's some potential topics that'll be discussed. Just give them a little more heads up to have them a little better prepared heading into an interview or a situation.
As an SID, when you have assigned sports, you're kind of the person trying to be creative in what ideas you can do to continue to promote and push out that sport. Like women's basketball in off season now, so I'm trying to come up with creative ideas to promote our athletes, and not just basketball, but all sports like tennis and soccer. So I mean, it keeps me engaged because I'm following Twitter accounts of other schools and other professional teams and seeing what they're doing and what other departments are doing to promote their athletes. So that's the big thing. It just keeps you engaged because you're trying to figure out new ideas to push your athletes.
It's helpful to know the journalism world because we're interacting with journalists all the time. And certainly there's a lot of elements of what we do that is, news writing. The difference as far as from a PR side is you always want to make sure you're putting out the positive side of what's happening. And so, unfortunately, in a lot of cases, your newspapers and your TV stations are going to focus a little bit more on the negative because that's what gets readers, that's what makes the headlines, and those things are newsworthy. But there has to be somebody who's making sure that the positive stories are going out, the community service stories, the academic achievement stories, in addition to the success of the teams.
I mean, it's fun. It keeps you on your toes for sure. You get to be a part of some special things. You get to see things that not, normal people would see every day. So you get to be a part of it, and you get to be welcomed in as a member of a team, and you get to work with them, work closely with them. So, keeping yourself on your toes, yeah, it's part of it. It's what you sign up for. But, that's also one of the fun parts of the job is, on a daily basis you can go in, thinking what you're going to be doing, but then something completely out of left field could come in and that'll take up your time. So it's all part of it, but that's also what makes the job fun.
Claude Felton at Georgia is one of the legends of the profession, and he always told us when I was a student there, he said the quality of our students in our department is what makes or breaks the SID office. And that was from one of the legends of the profession. Georgia had a lot of other really good full-time SIDs, but he made sure that we knew that the work that we did as students kind of took our office from being good to great. And really as a student, there's so many things, there's just a lot of tedious work in this profession. That's not always quite the glamorous side of sports that you think of. But somebody has to do that research for game notes. Somebody has to update bios. Somebody has to be able to keep files and archives in order. And sometimes, you know, that ends up being students because they're starting out and learning how to do things and how things work. And so, and definitely you want the best students you can who know how to write, who love sports, and who can really help you, again, take your office from good to being great.
So, you know, it's those little moments, but it's also just, you know, seeing the wins and, you know, when you go into a game on a given day, you never know what you're going to see. You know, when I was in Division III, an opposing team hit a half-court shot from the other free throw line to beat us. And while that was, you know, a bad loss for our team, it's like, it's still kind of cool. So you get those little moments and you get to see things that, you know, don't happen every day. And that's part of what makes the job so fun.
The part of the reason that I love this job is because you always are doing something new every day, and so it's never boring at all. And I know there's a lot of other kind of 9-to-5 cubicle jobs that may not quite be that way.